everybody, and welcome once again to another edition of the Modern Farming Podcast, where we are cultivating agricultural excellence through education every day.
We're your hosts, Chris and Tara, and together we're growing knowledge about the world that feeds us.
Thanks, Tara. And today we have a guest with us, Mykaela Billingsworth. She is currently an intern at the Bok Academy, which has an agriculture program, and she's also a UF education student, and she's specializing in agriculture. Welcome, Mykaela. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and how you got to where you are?
So I'm from Polk County. I grew up in Auburndale, and I went through Auburndale High School, which is where I got involved in ag. At Auburndale, I did a lot of ag stuff. I was that kid that was just like the ag student, and it's pretty much decided my life since my freshman year.
Nice.
So, what programs did you do at the high school level? Were you in FFA or any programs like that?
I joined FFA when I was a freshman. I was really involved my freshman year, then COVID hit, but I joined the officer team my sophomore year, and I was the treasurer. And from then, I was the president for the rest of my high school career. And I also was vice president for Polk County Federation, which is the officer team for like all of Polk County. And I was district vice president one year and district president. I did like anything I could to be involved in ag. It was my life. I also wanted to be a teacher for a while. And then when I got involved in ag and I got to observe my ag teachers and see what they had to do, I really just developed a passion for it. So I wanted to be a teacher. I just didn't know what kind of teacher. And then I just put it together.
Can you tell us who your ag teacher was that inspired you so?
Yeah, so my ag teacher for majority of my time in ag in high school was Mike McCracken. I also did have Kimberly Shasky, who is a wonderful ag teacher. I just didn't take her classes as much as I took his. He's pretty much the person that's responsible for making me want to do this career. He won't tell you that he is, but he is.
I think we had Mike McCracken on this show. If you're just tuning in to our podcast, check out the Mike McCracken episode. So Mike had a very strong passion for leading young students into agriculture. So when you put these two podcasts together, you could see the results with Miss Mykaela here. So that's really nice to see a system like that. We need more of that. Let's talk a little bit. You said that you got interested in agriculture in high school and you decided to pursue agriculture means in college. So tell us a little bit about the programs you're in. It's at UF in Gainesville. Tell us a little bit about how that goes, because I don't know that we've had a guest really explain agriculture teaching curriculum to any of the viewers of the podcast.
Going back to like high school, I was a dual enrollment student. So I did a lot of my courses while I was in high school. You have to have certain courses to be certified as an agriculture teacher, not just taking certification that's offered. So UF was like the main choice for the state of Florida. They actually have a campus in Plant City that they offer ag education through. I started there last year, and from there, I've taken a multitude of classes about classroom management, how to make lesson plans, like the basic courses that you would take if you were getting an education degree. But we also had to take classes like animal science lab, and I had to take animal science. I've had to take like soil science. Actually, one of my favorite classes was ag mech. We learned how to weld and how to build irrigation systems, things that we would need to know if we were moving into an agriculture program. It's very similar to getting any other education degree. Like you have to have those basic classes, but at the same time, you have to have the agriculture classes to know how to teach it, especially if you're not coming from an agriculture background.
You know, I've had a lot of friends and relatives go through teaching programs. Probably everybody has known at least one. I just think of a lot of book learning in classroom, learning how to run a classroom, how to manage kids, how to teach things, different methodologies. Then they give you a semester as a student teacher, and then that's it. Then off you go. So this sounds like it's really different. You got a lot of hands-on work, so that do you feel that you're going to bring that into the classroom that's necessary for someone who's teaching ag?
Them preparing us to know how to do certain things definitely helps. The program that I went through, we definitely did a lot of hands-on activities, but they also would take us out and let us observe other classes. I don't feel like I'm just coming into an internship and it's my first day teaching.
So folks who haven't ever been to the UF campus, and you were at one that's tailored for ag, but even the main university campus right in Gainesville, they have horse pastures, they have cow pastures, they have hospitals. They really have a lot of things that aren't just the classic learning, and I think that's great that UF does it like that. That's a very good program.
For our internships, it's a graduation requirement. How UF specifically does it is that you have to pass certain certifications before you can actually come and teach in your internship. So at the point that I'm at now, I've passed all my certifications. The only thing I'm missing is my college degree. So we had to pass our certifications, and then this is a whole semester of our internship. We have a course that is specifically designed for this, and we get graded weekly on our lesson plans. We have to do reflection sheets every week, so how we feel, what we need help on, because this internship is a lot, and anybody that you can talk to will tell you this is one of the hardest things that you will do in your teaching career, but it is the most meaningful because this is where you build how you're going to be a teacher in the classroom. There is a separate course that you can take, but it's not going to get you the experience that you need to step into the classroom.
So how did you choose Bok Academy to be the place where you intern? Was it because of location?
They don't want us to choose our internship placements. They all get together, all of our professors kind of decide where they want to place you, because their goal is to place you with a teacher that is going to work well with you. Like your teaching strategies are going to be similar. So they have us fill out a form. They ask for top 3 schools. So we did go out and visit schools, and then they asked for top 3 and why you would want to go there. Because I'm not from this area, I didn't know many schools local to me. So I actually didn't know that this program was even here. They picked Miss Sharpless, and they said, we want her to be your cooperating teacher. Yeah, it's kind of like a random selection. You don't know what you're getting until you get that email saying, this is your placement.
So you mentioned the youth fair. Tell us a little bit about the youth fair and how that impacted your life.
Since I was an ag student, I did show at the Polk County Youth Fair. I showed a hog all 4 years of high school. That was my thing. I also had a steer, but he sadly did not make weight, which is the downside of the Polk County Youth Fair. They do have a weight limit, which is 100% needed. It just, as an exhibitor, your heart gets broken when your animal gets on that scale and it's 20 pounds short. I had a heifer, which I loved. She was crazy, but she was best. And I also had plants. I kind of branched out to every area that I could. Youth Fair Week is the one week that every ag student looks forward to. I loved it as a student. This was my first year back because we had over 20 students have hogs. They all did great and phenomenal. We had kids have plants and cattle. But this year I definitely got to see the other side of Youth Fair. I got to see the teacher side. And I remember calling my father-in-law when it was over, and I called him and I said, I now understand why you were so tired at youth fair. Because as a student, we were just having a great time. As a teacher, it's a whole other side of things. And especially with Miss Sharpless, she is very involved with the committees. Swine has a committee, there's a steer committee. She's very involved throughout all of them. So we were definitely in the back office working pretty much all day. And I was like, oh, now I understand how this fair works and how much work is really put into it. So that was definitely an amazing experience for me to be able to see it, because I never realized. And I also realized why everybody was always so tired, because I was exhausted. I drank so much coffee that week.
So you said it was a whole week. Does that mean your students are heading over to the youth fair every day for a week?
So it depends on what they have. Everything checks in at a different time. So the first thing to check in is swine. So the kids that had pigs, if they made weight, I think the hogs were there for 4 days this year. So they were there every day to feed and water their hogs. And then as the week goes on and more stuff gets checked in, the group of kids kind of changes. So some of the pig kids only had a hog. So after their hogs were sold, they went back to school. So it kind of just depends on what project you have. But Yeah, most of them do have to find ways to get back and forth to youth fair for the different days that they need to be there. Some students do stay. Youth fair does have like camping spots, but some of them do camp out there. So it really just depends on what you have.
And you said people will purchase some of the things at the fair that the students have grown or raised. Is that open to public? Is that just regular people looking to buy hogs and cows?
It's completely open to the public. Anybody that wants to come and get a bidder number and bid on something is more than welcome. A lot of people have designated buyers. Take like swine and cattle, for instance. They put so much money into that project. A lot of them do try to find buyers, so they're not at risk of possibly not breaking even. Since I've been an exhibitor, prices of hogs and hog feed have definitely gone up. So when I was an exhibitor, $5 a pound was a great price. Like that wasn't a normal thing for most people to get. But being there this year, almost everybody got $5 or more. So it was also interesting to like see how the prices have changed since I've been selling stuff there. But yeah, it is open to the public. Anybody can come. It's also online. So if you can't be like physically in Bartow, you can buy stuff online.
Well, that's cool.
Interesting.
That's interesting. As a student and then as a teacher, that must be very gratifying when the students get to sell their things and earn their money, I would guess.
Yeah. It's a great thing to see. Sometimes you're heartbroken for them because it's their animals. I know my freshman year, I cried over my hog. And you kind of just have to stay positive for them and just like remind them, you know, they have a purpose. This is what they're here for. And you gave them a great life compared to other market hogs that could just be raised at a livestock auction. So it's definitely hard to like see your students sobbing over their animals, but it's great to see them like complete that process.
So, as an intern at Bok, what do you do on a daily basis? Are you there every single day? Are you helping teaching classes? Or are you just certain lessons? How's that work?
How UF likes us to transfer into this is we're in the 5th week. So we've been in this for a little bit. The first week we kind of come in and we get to pick kind of how much we want to observe and just set ourselves in the environment. I had already came and visited a couple times, so most of the students knew me. How mine ended up working out was we were going to youth fair and I had to make lesson plans for 3 of the other classes. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to pick them all up. So I'm actually teaching all 7 classes now. I teach them on a daily basis. I make all the lessons. And me and Miss Sharpless sit and grade stuff together. But yeah, I'm pretty much their teacher now. They know that Miss Sharpless is in here, but Miss B is their teacher, and I'm the one that they have to go to. And it's definitely been a learning process to like have Miss Sharpless as your teacher for some of them have had her for years, and then it's been half the school year, and all of a sudden this new person's coming in and she's not Miss Sharpless. And so it's definitely been a process. We're learning together. It's been great. This week has been a long week, but a great week back from youth fair because I feel like this week we've hit the point of we're kind of comfortable with each other. This week has been the first week where I feel like I am their teacher. So it's been a process, but we finally made it there.
That's awesome.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys also have a brand new aquaponics large system to work with.
Yeah, so we haven't got the fish yet. The kids, the week that they were coming to put it in, they were like, when are they coming? Are they here today? Are they going to be here? Like, they were just over the moon excited. I know we have one student that he was just so excited. He would ask every day, multiple times a day. And Miss Sharpless was just like, they're going to be here. Now, their new thing is, when are we getting the fish? When are the fish coming? Are the fish going to be here this week? I know they're going to be here soon, and the kids are definitely super excited about it, but they love it. It's like their favorite thing.
And they're getting to learn that you can't just throw fish in a bucket and expect them to, right? So there's that whole process of getting it set up. Then there'll be the process of making sure the fish are doing what they're supposed to. so your plants get what they need, and they're going to learn patience and process with this one, I think.
Yeah, I think that's like a major thing that they're learning because, we were out there when they set it up. And even some of the boys that were so excited about it actually stayed even when their class was over to like see it be set up. And since it has been filled up with water and they can see it's filled, and they're like, why aren't the fish in there? Why can't the fish be in there yet? And we're like, because they have to live in a certain environment. So I think them realizing that there are so many steps to like getting it ready for them has definitely shown them that you can't just throw them in there. That's not how that works. They're so excited. They love it.
That's good though, because if they go on to something at the next level, they'll understand the process where someone who hasn't had that exposure is going to be like them in college or whatever, wherever they wind up doing that for a job or an experience. So they're a step up in understanding it.
It's definitely a great thing for them to learn. I know I talked about it a little bit with y'all when you were here. When I was in high school, we didn't have an aquaponics system. So I loved seeing it be built. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. Because we didn't have this. We had greenhouses and we had a lot of plants, but not aquaponics. So it's been a really like awesome thing for me to be able to learn. I'm kind of learning with the students. It's definitely been something that I've enjoyed learning about.
Hats off to the state of Florida. Hats off to Green Jeans and our partners, and especially the schools and the teachers like yourself to want to put the time in and the effort to take it to that level. Because I think all of us on this call had nothing like that when we were in school. I mean, we had very little. So the fact that we're moving children's education forward is a good thing for all of us on this call.
Absolutely.
So what comes next? You're gonna get done with your internship. You're gonna graduate. And then what are you thinking about doing? What's your future plans?
I know I've definitely already started making my list of, I know this teacher's leaving, I'm going to apply. And that's another thing that this internship program also helps us with. So while we're interning, we have to set up a mock interview with the principal and the assistant principal where we're interning at. So for those of us that have never had a job interview, it's definitely going to help me be more comfortable walking into an interview. I'm hopefully stepping into the classroom starting August and going to have my own ag class.
We look forward to hearing where you go and what you decide to do with your ag students. And if you need anything, you got a contact here with Green Jeans.
Yes, of course.
What are your final thoughts that you'd like to leave the listeners with today?
I would just like to tell anybody listening that, like, if you are interested in a career in agriculture, even if you're not from an agriculture background, coming from somebody who wasn't up until I was 13, go for it, because it is a community and we need more ag teachers. We need more farmers. Just go for it. Coming from a senior in high school that was trying to go for it and didn't know if she could, because surprisingly, it's not very common. I think there's maybe 3 colleges in Florida that offer it. Try your best and you can make it work.
That's a spokesperson for Green Gene, right? That's what we're all about. Getting people who are interested and to go for it and check it out.
Yes, we need more ag teachers.
We need more. We need people everywhere to be more conscious about agriculture.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And teaching is a big part. So thank you, everybody, for watching. That's about all we have for today.
And be sure to listen, like us, and share us again. And as we grow in the knowledge of the world that feeds us.